All right. Let me turn off our music. Hey, everybody. It's me, Amanda, with Once in a While. We are going to try something a little different today. And that means we are actually live streaming from a location where Once in a While is actually at right now. Please bear with me. We're using a little bit of a different camera, a little bit of a different sound, like microphone situation and whatnot. But we are actually right here, right now at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. And we're hanging out over in the Freeman Coliseum in the wildlife section. And I'm just kind of in between animal programs right now. And we thought it might be a fun idea to have a little live stream. Now, I know it's not the usual and it's kind of a little bit of a surprise, but we're in the same boat as you. So we're going to do our very best. So please be patient with me and just hang out with us. Feel free to ask any questions that you have. If you're not familiar with Once in a While, please ask all the questions you have about our company. And I'll just tell you a little bit about us. We are actually a mobile zoo right here in San Antonio, Texas, because we're at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, of course. We're a local company as well. We are actually a mobile zoo. So we bring the animals to classrooms, to events like birthday parties. We can bring animal therapy sessions to senior homes and to corporate events and all kinds of really cool programming like that. We've got birds, mammals, we've got reptiles, amphibians, and invertebrates, and we love all animals equally. And part of our message is to help you fall in love with animals as well. And we're hoping to do that today. So we are at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo until tomorrow. So today is Saturday, February 22nd, and we're going to be here till 7 p.m. tonight. And tomorrow is the last day of the rodeo. So we're a little bit sad to be leaving. It's been a really fun time being here. We've got all kinds of different display animals like Rango the owl and Frodo the Patagonian cavy, and some of the tortoises and the ducks are actually here on display as well. And we've got lots of smaller animals too that are on tabletops for a little meet and greet educational situation. And we would love to see you guys for some of our presentations or just to mingle with some of our animals. You can even touch some of our animals and see them very, very up close. And we're hoping that you can fall in love with Texas wildlife and wildlife all over the world. So if you don't know me, my name is Amanda. Ricky is the other owner of Once in a While. He's behind the scenes over there right now. And our company is pretty new. We opened up in 2019, and we're very proud to be at the rodeo this year. So we're hanging out, and we're doing I think, a pretty good job out here at the rodeo. We're keeping a lot of people very, very happy. We're doing programs throughout the day. And like I said, you have one more chance to see us here in person if you happen to be in the San Antonio area and can make it over to the rodeo. I do hear that tomorrow's weather is going to be really, really nice as well. So please take advantage of the nice Sunday weather for the very last day of the rodeo. And we will be here in the Freeman Coliseum until 8 p.m. We're going to open at 10 a.m. and be here until 8 p.m. Also, we do have public events all over San Antonio a lot of the time. You can actually check out onceinawild.com and actually find out where you can visit us in person for public events. And we can also bring animals for private events as well. So please let us know if you have any events coming up, like a birthday or a special day or anything at all. We would love to bring animals for you. And also we can visit your classroom, library, church, anything at all. So please let us know. If you like animals, we are the company for you. And we are very appreciative of your support. So let's go ahead and get going with our live stream. We are using a telephone for our live stream. It's an iPhone. So we're going to do our best. Hopefully it looks okay. And you let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. I'm going to get into the comments here. Someone said I'm doing great. Thank you so much for your encouragement. We're kind of like doing a little bit of a different type of live stream. Those of you that have seen our live streams in the past, you know we usually live stream in the studio. So there might be some background noise, but how does it sound, Ricky? Does it sound okay? My voice is coming through. We have a lot of people out here. Public are out here. We've got wildlife team. Everybody's running around doing their job, so we don't mind at all. So we do have some animals coming out, of course. We're going to show you guys 4 different species today, and they're going to be 2 reptiles and 2 invertebrates. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and like take a leap and start with invertebrates. I'm going to get my hands ready for our first invertebrate friend. All these species are actually either Texas native wildlife to kind of stay in theme with the rodeo and wildlife section of the Freeman Coliseum, or they're going to be very similar to Texas wildlife. So we will talk about some of the Texas native species. Okay, so we're going to start with invertebrates. So I've got a couple of really cool ones. One is one that you might be familiar with. It's actually this species right here. And a lot of people aren't super in love with these type of animals, but I sure am. And that is part of being a once in a wild zoo owner, I guess, or employee, because we do have those too. And they tend to really like these animals, but not everybody likes them like we do, but we do understand them. That is okay. But we're going to help you guys understand her a little bit better. So this happens to be Barbie. I don't know if you can see her. We're trying to stay in focus, but it's a little bit hard. Is the camera gonna do it? Let's see if it can do it. Focus. Oh, it might be the best we get. We're doing our very best, but it is a tarantula. Maybe you can see her a little bit better if I kind of back up a little bit. If you want to see her better, you can also come out and visit us at the Freeman Coliseum here at the San Antonio Stockton Rodeo, or you can actually hire us to have a little bit of tarantula time at your event or something like that, or classroom. So this is Barbie. She's an Arizona blonde tarantula. They are from Arizona and surrounding states. So not a Texas species, but very closely related to the Texas brown and some of the other similar ground dwelling species of tarantula that you will see. Tarantulas get a really bad reputation, but as you can see, I'm totally fine. She is not going to hurt me. There's no species of tarantula that is deadly to humans. Now, they are deadly to their prey, which happens to be other invertebrates like insects. So they're going to be able to eat all those pesky critters that we need to make sure are kept in check, like roaches and other harmful insects that could spread things like disease or parasites that we don't want around us. So it's actually a great idea to just let spiders be around you for the most part and leave them alone, and they'll leave you alone right back. Tarantulas are actually one of the most harmless of all the species of spider, rather, to a human. They are venomous, but their venom doesn't actually harm a human that much. It's kind of like getting a little bee sting or something like that. And it's even less than a bee sting. So these guys get a really bad reputation, but there is no species of tarantula that is actually deadly to a human. That is a myth. Now, there are some species of spider we have to worry about, but even those quote unquote dangerous types of spiders, they get a really kind of poor reputation that is really not fair, because there's very, very rarely a human that passes away from a spider bite. That is really, really rare. Now, if you ever do come across a spider and it does happen to bite you, we just recommend that you go visit your doctor and you should be totally fine. But this is Barbie. She's an Arizona blonde tarantula. She's covered in little hairs. Their hair is kind of a body covering for them, of course, kind of like a mammal, but their hair is made out of chitin and not keratin like our hair, okay? So since we're mammals, we have hair, and tarantulas have hair too, but they're not warm-blooded, and they have an exoskeleton shell, and they have hair, which is part of their exoskeleton, which is made of chitin and not keratin like our hair. So it's a little bit different. It does function a little bit like hair, but it's actually going to also offer her another protection, which is to throw her hairs. Now, it's not true that they can just throw them out of their body at will without touching themselves. They can actually use their little hind leg, if you will, because of course they have 8 legs and two center body parts and 2 chelicerae and 8 eyes. So that's what makes them a tarantula, of course. But they're hairy, and they can actually have one of their back legs and kind of like give themselves a little like rub, and that can actually cause hair to fly off of their body as they're kind of giving themselves a little pet, and that will cause hair to fly off of their body and right into a predator's face. And those little hairs are kind of like little teeny tiny whiskers. They're very, 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 very coarse, and they can be very irritating to the predator's eyeballs. And that will cause the predator to maybe close their eyes or even scratch their eyes and stuff like that. And that will actually give the tarantula opportunity to escape. So that is really the main defense that they have. They could also just stay hidden. This is actually an underground type of species. They're a desert dwelling animal. So usually they'll be underground away from the heat of the day. And if they ever come out, it's typically at night. Now, the male tarantulas actually do wander around a lot more than females, because females stay at home and live a lot longer than males. And then the males are out usually looking for girlfriends. So, and also the males don't live very long. So males will live anywhere from like 1 to 5 years at maximum for most tarantulas, sometimes less, depending on the species. And then females can live for 20 or 30 or 40 years, depending on the species. So they're much, much longer lived. And so females can take their sweet time. They have no rush. They can just kind of hang out at home and they know they're going to get a boyfriend eventually and they're going to get something to eat eventually. Now, what do they eat? Like I mentioned before, they're going to eat other invertebrates. These are invertebrates too, but they're going to eat other invertebrates. It could be other spiders. It could be insects. It could be other arthropods. And they kind of just wait in their dwelling for an animal to approach and go into the doorway. Like all spiders, they do make webs, and their webs are more like thick. They're like carpet or cobwebs. They're not really like webs we think of like up in the trees or in the corner of a barn or something like that. They're not Charlotte's web. They're going to make webs that are more like a carpet, but they're going to be sitting on web, and that web will be very comfortable. But also, it's going to tell them when there's prey at the door or predator at the door because it causes vibration. And that comes back to the hair covering on their body, that chitinous hair. I wish she would be in focus. Our camera is the best it's going to get, I think. Oh, well, you guys get the picture. But these guys will kind of wait on their web, just like any other spider, wait for the vibrations. And that's going to tell them with their little hairs on their body when it's time to go over there and grab food. When they do grab food, they're going to use their front 2 legs and their front 2 arms because they actually have 8 legs and 2 arms. And then they're going to bite down on their prey with 2 fangs. And then the fangs will give the prey venom. The venom will go into the food, and that will cause the food to be paralyzed. Woo! And then she's got little claws that stuck to my finger. And then she can actually liquefy her prey with her saliva. So a spider will bite with the fangs. They wait for the venom to paralyze their food. And then they simultaneously will slobber and drool all over their food. And that causes that insect or whatever invertebrate or little animal. In some cases, they eat little animals, like maybe like birds or mice, sometimes for big pieces of tarantula. But this one's going to be eating mostly invertebrate. So when they're drooling all over that invertebrate, it's going to cause them to turn into like a drink. And then a spider's mouth is kind of like a fly's mouth. It's a proboscis, straw-like mouth. They slurp up the food once it becomes liquefied, and then they can eat their food. Now, a spider like this is a desert species. Many tarantula species operate this way, and that is only eating every once in a while. They don't eat very often. They're cold-blooded, of course, and as a desert species, they can actually survive very easily on 1 meal pretty much every 6 months. And that's kind of putting it, more so than they would usually get in the wild. They could eat once a month if they really want to, but they're usually going to be able to go a whole year without eating if they want to, and they can live very easily on a meal every 6 months. But once a month is probably what they would want to do. Now, if they get a meal that's extra, easy enough, they can actually wrap it up in some webbing or just let it stick in their webbing and save it for the next meal, right? So this is Barbie. She's actually one of our newest Arizona blonde tarantulas. I'm trying to see if she'll focus. But there's no reason to be afraid. She's kind of giving me a little high five right now. And she is so very cute. I think tarantulas are adorable. They're furry and cute, and they deserve some more love. Tarantulas are actually more fragile than we are. So it's more important for us to keep them safe in our care from us and other humans because they can break easily. They're very, very fragile animals and nothing to be afraid of, not deadly to a human. Okay, so the tarantula is going to go back down and take a break. If you guys want to come and see a tarantula in person, you can visit us right here at the Freeman Coliseum at the San Antonio South Show and Rodeo. We'll be here till tomorrow at 8 p.m. Okay, so Barbie's going to go back down and take a little break. She's a very nice tarantula. Hold on just a moment, please. Do we have any questions from the audience out there? Okay, I'm ready. How does a tarantula drink? A great question. I'm going to answer to the camera, but I'll answer your question, okay? How does a tarantula drink? That's a great question. So tarantulas get all the water they need from their food. So they're going to make their food into a liquid and they drink and eat at the same time. So it's going to be kind of like eating a smoothie. When you eat a smoothie, it's drink and food at the same time. That's all they need. They don't need a lot of water. Good question. Thank you. As people come up, we will see if we have more questions about these animals. All right. Probably meet another animal out there. Do I have any questions out there? I have a couple people chiming in. Just saying she's gorgeous, very informative. Thank you so much for saying so. By the way, I can highlight your questions. They can come right up on the screen if I tap them. So there is one of the questions from Dora. It's actually a compliment. Thank you for the compliment. She's gorgeous. I hope you're talking about the tarantula, but I will also take the compliment too. All right, so let's go ahead and meet another bug really quickly because bugs get a pretty bad reputation. And we want to help you guys fall in love with creepy crawly animals because they are just as cool as the rest of the animals. Maybe if I come in closer with a camera, it will be better. We're trying our best. Next time will be better. It's always better, the next time than the first time. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and meet a really cool bug. And I use the term bug loosely. I kind of use bug as like a cute term. But this is going to be another arachnid. So of course, spiders, scorpions, and even ticks are arachnids, but this is one of the lesser known arachnid species. I'm gonna inch my camera this way. There we go. We're doing our best. Okay, so this one is super cool. You want to see first? Whoa, it's right here in my hand. What is this thing? It's hard to see on camera, but this is actually a vinegaroon. Vinegaroons are another type of arachnid, like a spider, scorpion, or even a tick. Okay. No, because there's cords and stuff over here. No, I don't want things to accidentally get unplugged. Thank you. But you're welcome to watch from right now. Okay, so she is an arachnid. So all arachnids are going to have 8 legs, just like a spider, 2 arms, like a spider too, and they have 2 center body parts. Oh, we're getting a little bit. Look at the live and see if that's better focus. Is that any better? That's a little better. Hopefully it looks better to the audience than mine. Oh well. But this is Vinny. Vinny's a vinegaroon. Vinegaroons get their name from their smell. They can actually smell like vinegar, which to me smells amazing because I love pickles. Pickles are one of my favorite foods. Smells just like a dill pickle. Now they'll only release a vinegar smell if they feel afraid. These guys will kind of spray their predators with a little puff, nothing crazy, and it is technically an acidic defense mechanism, so it's acid, but it's not like deadly acid. It's going to be, it sounds really dramatic. It's going to be just a smell, essentially. And it smells just like a dill pickle or vinegar. And for me, it smells great, but a lot of different predators out there, like cats and foxes, they actually do not like the smell of pickles. If you've ever had a pet cat and you show it a pickle, they usually gag. So it is not something they like at all. So that actually helps with a lot of mammalian predators and other types of predators too. So look at how she kind of grabbed onto my skin. This does not hurt me at all. And by the way, this is a perfectly harmless arachnid too. This is actually a non-venomous arachnid, which is pretty rare. Most arachnids have some sort of venom, like a scorpion or some sort of spider, right? These guys have 0 venom. Their only defense is to smell like that vinegar, or to, of course, just hide away and stay safe that way too. So they have 8 legs and 2 arms. So their little arms are kind of sort of like a scorpion, but a little bit more safe, if you will. They're not really a pinching mechanism. They can grab a little bit, but it doesn't really pinch down and crush like a scorpion's pincers or claws, which are more like a lobster or something like that. Now, of course, a lobster is much stronger than a scorpion, but a scorpion is stronger than a vinegaroon. These guys do a lot of digging and scooping, and they'll kind of hold their food and just put it right up to the mouth. And their food could be anything from slugs or worms to slower moving insects to roaches, all kinds of things. So they're really good for the environment too. Just like a spider and even a scorpion is, they're going to be a predator for some of those harmful or potentially harmful insects and other critters out there, which could cause some problems in excess, right? So these guys are just a harmless little critter. They look a little bit scary. Someone said it reminded them of a camel spider the other day, and that's totally valid because camel spiders and vinegaroons, and spiders too, they're also arachnids as well. Camel spiders are really similar to vinegaroons. So they have the little scooping claws, they have 8 legs, and you might notice that some of their legs kind of look like little feelers or antenna of an insect. So these little skinny legs that they have is their first set of legs, but they don't use them for walking. They use them like antenna for touching around and feeling around. This is an animal that's out at night or underground. So when they're out, it's very dark. In fact, they don't really have much vision anyway. But in order to get around, they're going to touch around with their first set of little legs that are very skinny, almost like antenna of an insect. But they're not an insect. They're an arachnid, like a spider or scorpion. How cool is that? But they've got some similar adaptation to insect. Now, what's that in the back? A lot of people call this a whip scorpion. There's also such thing as a tailless whip scorpion. Words. A tailless whip scorpion. But this is a whip scorpion, but it's not a scorpion. It's a vinegaroon. So what is that whip in the back? It's actually just a feeler as well. It's a flagellum. That's the technical term for it. But it's literally just another feeling mechanism in the back. So we are going live right now on a live stream. You guys are more than welcome to come look. This is a vinegaroon. Her name is Vinny. We have some audience members coming up. And she is a harmless arachnid that actually smells like pickles. Pickles are their main defense mechanism. They smell like vinegar. And lots of animals like cats and foxes, they don't like those smells. That's going to be their main way to stay uneaten, I guess. They have little scooping claws, but they're not similar to a scorpion, which is much more capable of pinching. And these guys are non-venomous. And they are carnivores, but they kind of just catch their food and start eating it. They can catch like slow-moving critters like slugs. The tail in the back is called a flagellum, and that's just another feeler. And as you can see, they have 8 legs, but 2 of their legs are actually really similar to antenna. They're not antenna. They don't have the same abilities as antenna. Like some insects can actually smell with their antenna and hear. It's just a touching, feeler, but it's a leg. They just kind of turn into a feeler. It kind of looks a little bit like, I think it kind of looks like a miniature lobster, if you ask me. These guys are actually located right here in Texas, but you can see species of vinegaroon all over the world as long as it's not too cold. Yeah, you can see them. Usually they're going to be underground or on the ground, kind of hiding away in the leaves and stuff. So somebody saw me streaming, and a couple kiddos over here came up and asked some questions, which is fantastic. You know, these guys get really, a lot of people are scared of them. They get a bad rep, but they're a harmless bug. They just look a lot different than us. But there's nothing to be afraid of, and we love Benny. He's been one of our favorites to show off here at the rodeo this year. Can't talk today. It's been one of those whole weeks. So Benny, we love you. You are great. Let me see if there's any other questions. Maybe Ricky can take some questions, but I think those were really, really good questions. Are they poisonous? They are not poisonous. I think I mentioned that as well. They're not poisonous or venomous. They just have a pretty benign defense mechanism, which is to have a vinegar smell that can spray out of their body from the hind end, kind of like a stink bug, a lot less stinky in my opinion. And actually, it smells great to me. It makes me want to pickle. Does it sting like a scorpion? No, they do not have any ability to sting. There's no venom or stinger. It is just a feeler in the back. Good question. How do they drink? I think that was about the spider. We covered that already. These guys are also going to be able to drink water with a straw-like mouth. And they also have mouth parts that can crunch food too. So these guys are a little bit different than, there I am. These guys are a little bit different than a spider. They don't have the same type of mouth, but it's similar when they drink, is what I'm trying to say. They kind of like scoop up the water into a straw-like mouth, but they do have crunching mouth parts. So scorpions and vinegaroon and some others, they can actually crunch up harder food than a spider. A spider has to turn their food into a liquid. If it's a crunchy meal item, they have to turn it into a liquid. I'm laughing at somebody else's comment. Sunset Wildlife Connection, how are you? It's so good to see you. I'm so happy you're on here. We're winging it today at the rodeo. We're here at the rodeo. I wish you were here. We miss you. Pickle, I love that. Yep, they smell just like a pickle, and it makes me want one. All right. Well, I think Vinny did a great job being a beautiful animal ambassador. I'm sorry, oh, there we go. It's a little bit better. Oh my goodness. They are so cool. You can see the little spots on their back, which is their abdomen. So a arachnid is going to have 2 center body parts, which is a cephalothorax and an abdomen. Like a spider has a cephalothorax and an abdomen, but these guys have that abdomen, and they have little sphericals on the back that they breathe out of. So invertebrates don't breathe like us. They have sphericals, and they have book lungs, which are kind of like gills, which is super cool. Enough about Vinny. Vinny is so cool. I could talk about her all day, and I have to get to other things. So we're going to say goodbye to Vinny for now. Again, if you want to see the creepy crawlies here at the rodeo, come and find us at the Freeman Coliseum, and you can meet the creepy crawlies too. So good job, Vinny. We're going to put you down. He does a great job hanging onto my skin. It doesn't hurt at all, but it's actually kind of nice for holding them and presenting them so they don't have to worry about her falling. A tarantula isn't as good at hanging on to stuff as Vinny because they're not meant to. Some tarantulas climb trees, and those guys are a lot better about climbing, but they're pretty fragile, so we don't want a tarantula to fall. But a vinegaroon, they're a lot better at getting a grip, I should say. Okay, let's go ahead and meet a really cute snake, and then we'll see how much time we have for second snake. So there's always time for second snake. But you know what? We've got so many snakes here at the rodeo that you guys can come up and meet, and you can even hold and touch a snake today if you want to. But let me bring out a really cute one. He's a very, very popular snake. And Vinny the vinegaroon is from Texas, and vinegaroons are found worldwide. Snakes are found worldwide as well. Oh, you're gonna come see us. Awesome. I'll be excited to see you. Okay. Yes, we're here at the rodeo. Woohoo! Good job reminding us. Okay. So I have a really cool snake coming out. Snakes are my favorite of all animals. They get a really bad reputation, and so many of them are persecuted, harmed, things like that, just for being a snake. And that's not okay. So we want to make sure and educate you guys about snakes and all animals, really. We started off really strong with our invertebrates. Those are very misunderstood as well, but we love them. And yeah, so let me go ahead and bring on a really cute snake. I think snakes are really cute. And this one is usually beloved as well. Look at this little guy. Speaking of Texas natives, this is actually a species you can find right here in Texas. This is Dusty. Dusty is a male western hognose snake and a super duper cute species. Let's see if we can get him a little bit better in focus. That's much better right there. But he's a busy little guy, so he might move around. That's okay. He's allowed to live his life and move. I'm going to warm him up with my hands. It's been chilly the past few days for our cold-blooded creatures and everything. So anyway, this is Dusty. He's a western hognose snake. He is a Texas native too. You can find these guys throughout the United States in certain western states, as the name indicates, a western hognose snake. And they have a turned up little nose. That's where they get their name, the hog nose snake. See the little nose? It kind of looks like a little pig nose. You'll see a lot of pigs here at the stock show and rodeo as well. Those are cool, but this is a snake that kind of looks like a pig. At least somebody thought so enough to name it a hognose snake. So hognose snakes are actually venomous snakes. Why am I holding it? Well, he's venomous, but not super venomous. Kind of like the tarantula earlier. Tarantulas are not deadly to humans. This animal has way less venom than even the tarantula, and he is not deadly to humans either, and definitely not significant to humans. Now, if a hognose did bite you, they would have to really work on it to get their fangs on your skin because their fangs are way in the back of their mouth. And they would basically have to eat your finger in order to envenomate you. And if that did happen, which is rare in the first place, you would be a little itchy, maybe a teeny bit of swelling, and you would be totally fine. This is an animal that basically isn't even labeled as venomous, but they technically are. They have a little bit, but they're harmless to humans, just like the tarantula is venomous and harmless to humans too. So nothing to worry about. Even venomous snakes that have significant venom, we want to encourage you guys to leave those guys alone. We want to make sure that they have their home and they get to keep their home. And if you do see a venomous snake on your property or near your home, you can call for professional help. We want to make sure that those snakes are seeing another day and living another day to snake around. And the snakes are important of all species, even venomous. So we need to make sure that there's venomous and non-venomous species in the environment. They are there for a reason. And we want to make sure you're also safe because when you mess with venomous snakes, that's the best way to actually get harmed by any animal for that matter, is to try to harm it first, and then it feels the need to defend itself. Venomous snakes will not harm you unless you are harming them first or unless you are touching them at least. So we don't recommend you guys picking up snakes that you don't know or picking up venomous snakes for sure or messing with them, harming them, nothing like that. But Dusty is not really one that you would have to worry about. A western hognose snake, I don't recommend just picking them up if you see one. But if you did, you'd be okay. And sometimes the hognose snake will even take it to the next level and actually play dead like an opossum. So these guys are usually gonna kind of slither away from you if they can. But if they feel threatened enough, they will actually lay on their back, writhe around looking like they're in pain, open their mouth, flop out their tongue, and play dead. And they even smell bad. They'll have like a little smell that comes out of them. It smells like death. And sometimes their predators will say, oh my gosh, this animal was fine, and then it just dropped dead and had a dramatic death. So I don't really want that disease. So I'm going to choose another meal because a lot of times those predators would rather have a fresh, healthy meal than something that looks like they're ill, right? So Western hognose snake and other hognose snakes, they have the same kind of idea as like an opossum. Opossum will play possum, right? They'll play dead, and that will actually help them to hopefully survive. And then they can get away once the predator is tired of that, and they'll leave them and say, "No, thank you. I'm going to go get a fresh meal." And then, and then the hognose will wake back up and slither away, which is pretty awesome. So that's one of their abilities as well. They are usually going to be eating lizards and toads and frogs in the wild. And that is actually why we think they have the venom or the fangs, is to actually envenomate frogs and toads, which are sometimes poisonous, right? But these guys can handle that. And they can, sometimes when a toad or frog will puff up because they feel threatened in the snake's mouth, I mean, of course they do, they're scared. They'll puff up with air, and the hognose can sometimes pop that amphibian. They can pop the toad or the frog and be able to eat them anyway, even though they're puffed up and fat. And they're pretty cool snakes. A lot of people do like them. They're actually really popular pets. That tells you how safe they are. They're perfectly legal pets. They are very, very sweet. They're becoming kind of the new thing, and they don't get very big. I don't recommend them for a beginner. I recommend them for somebody intermediate. They're not as easy as some of the other colubrids and other snakes too, but they're really cool. And a lot of times, if you get a little male like this is as big as they're going to get. They're actually quite a small little species. So they're quite a small snake. See how big he is? He's extra small. This isn't really as big as Dusty will ever get. Now, to me, from a distance, he kind of looks like a little viper or a rattlesnake, too. I think that is so awesome. I think rattlesnakes are one of the most beautiful animals in the world. We respect them. So he is going to be smelling around with his tongue. I'm actually on a live stream, you guys. So he's going to be smelling around with his tongue. And that's how a snake will get around. They're going to go ahead and stick their tongue out a lot and flick it around in the air. That's going to be picking up smells. And then they put their tongue back in their mouth, and it tells their brain information. Now, they could just be getting around. They could be hunting. They could just be navigating on my hand like he is right now. Snakes also never blink, but they don't see the best. So sense of smell is going to be their best sense. Snakes also have no ears, so they cannot hear, but they can feel vibrations if there's loud enough noises or noises near to them, okay? Hognose are really known for not just playing dead and being a little bit venomous, they're also known for digging. That's why they have that little snout. So this little shovel nose, if you can see it at all. Come on, focus camera. Which spot does it like? It likes my face. So see his face. He's got a little shovel nose, and that's going to help him scoop up the dirt or the earth and to be able to dig and get away from danger and kind of like hang out underground if he wants to. Maybe even look for animals to eat underground and things like that. Super cool snake. We love snakes. Do we have time for another snake? We do. Okay, Ricky's saying yes, so we will do it. 2 snakes are better than 1. And we're going to go for it. Okay, so snakes are our favorite animal. This is a very easy animal to end on. If you guys are just catching us right now, oh, here's a good question before I forget. Do snakes latch on when they bite? Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. If it's their prey, definitely. If they're venomous snakes, though, not a hognose, but like a truly venomous snake, like a rattlesnake, for example, or a cobra, they usually will not latch on because the venom is going to do the work for them. So venomous snakes usually will bite an animal and let go, kind of slither away for a little bit and watch the animal for it to pass away. And then the animal will be eaten later because it's safe to go over and eat it when it's dead, of course, when your prey is dead. That's the best way to eat prey. So most venomous snakes bite and let go. Hognose don't really count as the same. They definitely latch on and just eat their food. Their venom is not strong enough to kill their prey. It's just kind of a something they have just on the side, side venom, just a little bit. And then they have the big fangs in the back, which can pop the frogs and hopefully maybe help a little bit with maybe digestion and things like that. But that's really it. The hognose is nothing to worry about. But other snakes that are non-venomous, such as a python or a colubrid, like a king snake or something like that, those guys are definitely going to bite and hold on so the prey doesn't escape because they don't have any venom to paralyze or kill their prey, right? So they're going to hang on really tight And then constrictors, or even some other snakes, will actually wrap around with their body to hold them still and make sure their prey is then going to die that way, and then they can eat it later. And then some snakes just start eating their prey while they latch on. But yes, most of them do. Non-venomous snakes are going to have teeth that are very similar to Velcro. Velcro will stick to their prey. I hope that answers your question. All right, so our last snake and last animal is another native species. Look at this guy. Can you see him from there? Y'all let me know. This is Midas. Midas is a rat snake. Now there's many species of rat snake. Rat snakes are all colubrids and non-venomous. They have Velcro teeth. They are good hunters, but not like a king snake or an indigo snake. They don't usually eat other snakes. So most of the time they're going to be eating mammals, birds, lizards sometimes, frogs, eggs. Very capable at climbing trees and getting into bird nests and things like that. A lot of times people will call certain types of snake the chicken snake because they'll go into chicken coops and eat eggs and chickens. Now, it have to be a really big chicken snake to be able to eat a chicken, but they can certainly eat baby chickens and eggs and things. But that's your rat snake family. There's Texas rat snakes, there's black rat snake. This is a Baird's rat snake. Baird is actually the name of a scientist who discovered a lot of animals in the Americas, actually, because there's Baird's tapirs and Baird's other things too. But this is a Baird's rat snake, and this is a Texas Baird's rat snake. That tells you where they're from. They're from Texas. They're from usually West or South Texas. And there's also a Mexican variety too. The Mexican variety is actually my favorite. Don't tell this guy, but I think the Mexicans are a little more handsome. Wink. These guys are a harmless species to humans, 100% harmless. They are not going to ever hurt a person. They have no ability to hurt a person. Their teeth are like Velcro. Some rat snakes kind of put up a little bit of a hissy fit when you try to go be near them or pick them up, but there's no reason to fear a rat snake. Rat snakes are really good for the environment, as are all animals, right? But these guys, for sure, it's nothing to worry about. Absolutely zero venom for a rat snake. This is Midas. He's a Texas Baird's rat snake, like I mentioned before. We actually have two. We have Midas and Sterling. Midas and Sterling are two Texas Baird's rat snakes. They're both gorgeous. My favorite thing about the rat snakes, specifically the Baird's rat snake, is actually they change colors as they grow. Now, not like a chameleon, not like a lizard. They're going to change colors as they shed their skin, and that's going to change their scale color and their pattern. They start off spotted with lots of little markings, and as they grow, they get these long stripes down their body as well. They're called dorsal stripes all the way down. They change a little bit every time they shed. So as long as he's living and as long as he's shedding, which for snakes is once a month, all snakes shed once a month like clockwork. It's around every 25 to 35 days. These guys, they will change a little bit every shed. So little by little, the longer he lives, he's around 4 years old now. But the longer he lives, the more he will change. And every Baird's rat snake individual, furthermore, is actually completely different. So he looks totally different than the other Baird's rat snakes that we have. Even though they're the same species, they have a different pattern. So they're all different. How cool is that? Well, I hope you guys have really enjoyed. Yep, I agree. Mexicans are better. Hot take? Nah, it's not hot. I think it's spicy. Spicy take? Okay, so why are they called rat snake? Rat snakes tend to eat a lot of rodents. Now, it is a little bit deceiving because they don't really have the ability to eat a whole lot of rats, but they're not big enough. Now, this is still a young snake. He can get a lot bigger, and there's many other rat snakes that get much bigger than him, of course. There's many out there. But most rat snakes don't get big enough to eat rats on a regular basis, but they do get big enough to eat mice on a regular basis. So I think that's where that comes from. It's just rodent snake, and it turned into rat snake. But also these guys eat birds and lizards and frogs and eggs. So I guess that's too long of a name for the species. Good question. Yes, this is a Texas Baird's rat snake. That's how we spell it, Baird. Baird is a last name of somebody who kind of discovered some of their species and named them after themselves, which is what scientists do sometimes. All right. I'm trying to check for any other questions. Ricky, do you have anybody else with questions? You can hear me. I think it's on a delay. You're welcome. Now remember, we are right here at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. Any other questions that you heard? You can type them in if you want. No problem at all. So Remember, we are right here at the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. We're here all day until the end of the day, around 7 p.m. here in the Freeman Coliseum. We're right next to the wildlife section. Look for the big sign right here and look for the owl. The owl, you can't miss him. He's out here too. Wrangle the owl, Proto the Patagonian cavy, the two tortoises, two of our red-footed tortoises are here. We have some ducks here. We've got some really cool reptiles, amphibians, and invertebrates. And we'd love to see you all here. We have one more day today. And guess what? One more day tomorrow. So 2 more days. So well, 1.5. I guess we're midday now. It's almost 2 o'clock. So we're here till 7 p.m. tonight. And then tomorrow we're here from 10 to 8 p.m. in the Freeman Coliseum. So please don't miss us. It's a beautiful day tomorrow. The weather's going to clear up a little bit. And it's going to warm up too. So we're really, really happy about that. And we would love to see you in person. You can meet Midas and all the other beautiful animals. Midas, you did a great job. Thank you to everybody watching over the time here at the Stock Show. If you guys have any questions at all, you guys know where to find us. You can visit us at onceinawild.com. And you can contact us for your events, for your classroom, anything at all. And we would love to see you soon. Ricky, is there anything else you want me to say to the audience? He says he loves y'all and he loves me, which is really sweet. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and end. It was really good to see you guys. I'm going to make sure and end it properly. All right, we'll see you guys next time and take care. Bye.
We are nothing close to ordinary, but we love to be your friend. Hold our hands and let's have fun together, singing as loud as you can. Everybody singing once in a while. Together. Once in a while. I wanna hear you say once in a while. And that's the fun for me and you.
All right, we'll see you later. Bye, guys.